What's going on, everybody? It's Aurora coming at you with a brand new video, and it looks like we have some more Supreme Darkness reveals coming out tonight. And tonight we're actually getting Tenyi support. And I've been asking for Tenyi support for a little while now, mainly because I feel like it's super interesting, even ignoring the Sword Soul aspect of it. My friend actually played like a stun variant of Tenyi with like a Pachycephalo and the Earth Barrier statue and stuff, and like Gallant Granite or whatever, back before Sword Soul came out, and he really enjoyed it. And so he's been asking for Tenyi support for a while. But they're finally getting a synchro monster, it looks like.
Hey, so this is future Aurora here, like halfway through the video. I realized that throughout the video I've been saying that Tenyis don't have a synchro monster, period. I don't actually mean that. I mean they don't have anything outside of Draco Berserker. That's my bad. I was thinking more along the lines of something like Chi-Sha, like a consistency piece. So yeah, that's my bad. Take everything I say about that with a grain of salt. I'm kind of just stupid, so just keep that in mind for the rest of the video.
This could actually be really, really good, and of course, if it is good and doesn't lock you into Tenyis or anything silly like that, then you should be able to get some good Sword Soul plays out of this as well, which is pretty cool because Sword Soul is still a strong deck. It just kind of lost its flair when Baron died, and it's just way too slow right now. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting off, we have Tenyi Spirit Surya. It's a light worm tuner, level 4, 600 attack, 0 defense, so now they definitely have at least 3 tuners. And you can only use each effect once per turn. If you control a worm monster or a non-effect monster, you can special this card from your hand. Keep in mind it doesn't say only if you control no monsters or only normal monsters. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as synchro material for a worm, you can special a Tenyi Link from your extra deck, but it cannot be used as link material. Then you will lose life points equal to its link rating at times 1,000. Ooh, okay. So even ignoring the synchro monster, right? This card seems really good right off the bat, especially when it does come to Sword Soul plays. So keep in mind, you're going to be specialing it for free, which is really good because I feel like worms in general just needed more extenders like this that weren't super punishing like the Tenyis were by having to only have normal, no effect monsters, I think it was, because you can also have face downs and stuff, or no monsters, period. So having just a free extender if you control a worm feels really good, but I really like that second effect because keep in mind, they're not just all normal monsters in the extra deck. They have Shaman of the Tenyi, which is a link 2 that lets you discard to revive, I think it's any worm, but I think its effects are negated and you're locked into Tenyis for the rest of it. No. You're locked into Tenyi effects for the rest of the turn, that's what it is. Yeah, you cannot activate the effects of monsters special from the extra deck except Tenyi monsters, which is still fine, especially if the synchro is really good, because you can still get a lot of plays going even with your regular stuff, and just by having a bunch of big beaters. Like, even ignoring, again, the other 2 cards that are in this just wave right here, this card could have came out alone for Sword Soul and just worm decks in general, and would have been really, really great. Moving on, we finally do have the Tenyi Synchro monster. Tenyi Spirit Mula Adhara is a light worm synchro, level 8 with 3,000 attack and 0 defense. It requires a tuner and 1 or more non-tuners, and you can only use the first effect once per turn. If it's synchro summoned and you have 2 or more worms in your graveyard and or banishment, you can add 1 field spell from your deck to your hand, period. And this card gains these effects while there is a non-effect monster on the field. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and it can make a second attack during each battle phase. So clearly this is meant to, on summon, search for the flawless perfection of the Tenyi, which is, it's an alright field spell. It's okay in like regular Tenyi itself, not really great in any other worm variants that utilize the Tenyi cards in my opinion, but it is completely generic, so you can add literally any field spell. I'm not sure which ones you'd want other than like, maybe Dragon Ravine for certain combos. I don't know what else you'd be really doing there though. But the second effect is pretty cool. I mean, just while there's a non-effect monster on the field, period, so that includes something just simple like a Monk of the Tenyi, gets targeting and destruction protection, and it can attack twice as a 3,000 beater. Pretty solid, not gonna lie. I would have preferred a little bit more of like a consistency piece other than just a field spell, or something maybe with like removal other than Vishuddha in the deck, but protection with a big beat stick does seem like right up Tenyi's alley. Finally, they do have a brand new field spell, actually, it looks like, Eternal Perfection of the Tenyi, so it went from Flawless to Eternal. It is a field spell that says you can only activate 1 per turn, and you can only use the second effect once per turn. When it resolves, you can add 1 Vessel for the Dragon Cycle or Heavenly Dragon Circle from your deck to your hand. You can tribute a worm monster that target 1 monster on the field and destroy it, and once per turn during your end phase, you can send it to the graveyard, and if you do, place a Flawless Perfection from your deck or graveyard face up in your field zone. Okay, so this card just completely solved all the issues that I had with this Synchro monster. Really good consistency here. This helps you dodge imperm and get you a free body from the deck. This is like I think it's like a double dump and an add or something like that. I completely forgot. I think it's like dump a Tenyi, or dump a worm, add a Tenyi if you control a non-effect monster, something like that. So that's really good, but personally I'd probably be adding Heavenly Dragon Circle because you actually still play that in Sword Soul and stuff. And then this is free removal, tributes any worm monster, so that includes something that's kind of just sitting there like a Monk or like a zero attack Adhara, something like that. And then it just tags out into Flawless Perfection during the end phase, so you can use this on your turn and then tag out into Flawless Perfection on the opponent's turn, which I think is better. I think it's like when your opponent special summons and you control a non-effect or a face down, you get to draw 2? Yeah, all non-effect monsters in the field are unaffected by monster effects. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster, while you control a face down or a non-effect, you can draw 2 cards. So it seems like a very solid card here as well. You're definitely going to be searching that off the Mula Adhara. Again, you can add something like the Heavenly Dragon Circle in order to protect your regular plays. You can use the Tenyis to go into the Mula Adhara by using like the Ashuna. Ashuna's going to special from deck for free to get you your tuner, yada yada. So that means Vessel for the Dragon Cycle can actually be very viable, because it can help you get into that combo, and then this can like protect you when you normal summon Moyi or Taya or something like that. And then again, removal, really good for going second. Turns out to be really good with the Mula Adhara because it can attack twice, doesn't say on monsters, so you can attack directly for 6,000 total. Well, with that being said, that's it for the new Tenyi support, just 3 cards. What do I think about it? I think it is very, very solid. Tenyi Spirit Surya does a lot for any worm variant period, because it's just a free body for controlling a worm or non-effect monster, and it is a level 4 tuner, which is a great level for a tuner, and can help you go into a bunch of different synchro plays. And then this being able to tack out into a Shabed is going to be very, very massive. Losing life points equal to the link rating does not matter. Even if you wanted to go into Sarasara, yeah, that is like half your life points, but Sarasara has a good effect, because it's specifically the effect that it doesn't say negate the effects. Like, that's the aspect that makes this card really, really good. Mula Adhara on its own isn't like super crazy, even if it can add any field spell, but the new field spell does do a lot for any worm variant, being able to add a Vessel or Heavenly Dragon Circle to help protect against hand traps, or to help continue your plays a little bit further, and this can help be a pretty solid beat stick. And something a lot of people forget is that you can actually use cards like this, or your Draco Berserker, or something like that, to go into a Monk of the Tenyi. So you can have all of your non-effect monster things live, so you can go like Mula Adhara, link into Monk of the Tenyi after adding the Eternal Perfection, add a Vessel for the Dragon Cycle, and then turn this into a Monk. Now your Vessel's live. Super, super good there. And then Eternal Perfection being able to be consistency and removal, and tagging out into your Flawless Perfection if you're playing that, especially if you're playing like actual Tenyi, then that is really good as well. But I don't know, that's just my opinion. Let us know in the comments below, because that's gonna do it for the video. If you liked it, please sure leave a like, as well as put this video and the channel into YouTube recommended, and otherwise content or somewhere like it, like the rest of my review series, then perhaps consider subscribing and turning notifications if you haven't already, because support channel or anything else, and it's absolutely free. Also, you know, support me directly with getting some awesome teaching mercenaries in the process. Check out Tapio cards in the link down below. Use code Aurora5 for 5% off your purchase at checkout, and support me financially. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon down below to see the benefits you get from my $1 and $5 tiers. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.